First, there was some sort of resistance, but then I was like, I think that's exactly what I need. You gave such a welcoming environment that everyone was allowed to be just as they wanted to be. It doesn't have to be your dream that you will actually follow through with. It can be one of so many dreams. And I was like, is this even real? Plan, but always leave a little bit of magic. And it's so true. Efficiency made easy.
Efficiency made easy.
There's so much more to efficiency made easy than just efficiency.
In today's episode, you are going to hear from another one of our Efficiency Made Easy alumni, Ewa Sigmund, about how she went from running her life on autopilot to having a clear vision and agency over her plan for her life, so that you too can see for yourself that living your best life in alignment with the truth, with the core essence of who you are, filled with joy and happiness and excitement, is so much more closer than you think. Let's dive in. Welcome to Resonance, the podcast for high performers and entrepreneurs who want to do life, work, and success differently. I am your host, Viktoria Levenberg, and I am obsessed with efficiency, productivity, and planning in a way that harnesses your energy and your natural rhythms while keeping you in alignment and integrity. Because I have figured out that lasting success is not about the hustle. It is about being in resonance. Let's begin. It is so special to bring Ewa to you. She is one of my best friends. Like, we go way back to back when people still used to call me Vicky, which feels like such an old version of me. You know, I've, as a triple Scorpio, been through so many deaths and rebirths in the metaphorical sense of the world. And Ewa has really kind of come into my world as a client just in the last kind of 8 months or so, where she was actually one of the very first founding members of my original old program called the Stress Reset. So if you've been around here for a little while, you might remember that I used to really speak to the health and nervous system and stress aspects. And that was kind of the core essence of that program. And, you know, being my ideal client as a busy, high achieving woman who's in a really prestigious company, you know, in leadership roles, dealing with management, dealing with clients, all the different things, she was the person who I want to help. Like, she is the type of person who's dealing with a lot of pressure, a lot of demands from work, a lot of to-dos, a lot of people pleasing, a lot of high stakes situations. And if there is a way that I can help her feel a little bit more in resonance and just rest and know that you've done enough, then my job is done. And again, if you've been around for a while, you'll know that I went through like this big aha transformation of what I actually deliver and bring to the world, which kind of the Stress Reset helped facilitate. And Ewa was one of those first clients who I really got to see that in person with. And from that, the work of Efficiency Made Easy was born and emerged, where I'm still helping the exact same people. You know, it's my ideal clients have not changed because that is who I'm here to serve. You being a high achieving person who is either in corporate or an entrepreneur or both, or juggling even studies on the top of that, you are the type of person who I can help because I've been you, because I am you. And I realized that I had all these hidden secrets, you know, that I took for granted, to be honest, because it's just how I've been running my life for over a decade. And lo and behold, now as I look back on some of my academic records from, you know, many, many moons ago, I'm like, oh, that's right. Project management was like one of my best classes. I freaking aced that. And now it's all kind of coming together into this amazing program that doors are literally open for this week and they close down on Thursday. And so Ewa was one of the very first founding members of Efficiency Made Easy as well. So she was one of the elite small group of humans who got to go through this experience for the very first time. And she was an A triple plus client, like, you know, just super engaged, implemented all the things, which is why bringing her to you today and her sharing her story is so powerful, because she is the epitome of taking aligned action. And so let her tell you her story of what it was like when she first started working with me, what Efficiency Made Easy shifted for her, and what became possible for her as a result, including spoiler alert, chasing after goals and dreams bigger than she had ever even dared to dream for. So make sure that you stay tuned, because by the end of this episode, you will see for yourself that efficiency made easy is about so much more than just productivity, so that you can actually step into a container that facilitates your expansion into your highest self, so that you can organize your life and get clear on your priorities and what really matters to you, and actually live in alignment with the truth of who you really are. This is what becomes possible for you when you join this incredible community of like-minded high achievers. So without any further ado, let's dive in. I would love to introduce you to Ewa, my bestie. Welcome to Resonance, Ewa. I am so grateful that you are here, and I'm so excited to bring your story to our listeners. So why don't you introduce yourself? Just tell me a little bit about who you are. I mean, I've known you for decades, but some people might be only hearing from you for the first time.
Amazing. Thank you so much for inviting me. I'm so excited. It's actually my first podcast I'm on, so it's such an honor. So a little introduction about myself. My name is Ewa. I've known Vicky since many years, back from Düsseldorf times, and when we're going to school together. And just recently, I had many different life changes happening, and I've actually moved to this beautiful green island called Ireland, and now living in Dublin, and joined Efficiency Made Easy as part of that whole journey.
Yes, you did. And oh my goodness, it's honestly so funny. I always have to giggle every time you say Vicky. And I still have a few people in my life, including my therapist, who call me Vicky. But it's like, it's really telling of like, I knew her back when she still used to go by Vicky. And I'm just like, I ain't changing that. That's all good. But that just really goes like to show how long we've known each other, and it's been honestly like such a privilege to witness you both through our friendship, but then particularly over like the last 5-6 months. Just the transformation has been wild. So, I mean, our journey together started before Efficiency Made Easy even existed. So if you want, maybe do you want to even take us back to like back when you joined the Stress Reset, and that was kind of the catalyst that helped evolve us into where we are today?
Yes, more than happy to. So I moved to Dublin last August, and then I was following Vicky, like her launching her different programs. And then it was like, for me, that time was super overwhelming of moving countries, moving jobs and all of that. And then you came around with that, with your first project, and telling me all of that. And I was like, I think I should jump on that. Like first there was some sort of resistance, but then I was like, I think that's exactly what I need in that phase right now, when everything is just feeling like too much. So that's how I joined Stress Reset, and it really feels like a movie that is passing through all the time.
Yeah,
and it's really beautiful, because I can really, like, when we started, it felt like a complete different time, like as a start of a chapter. Now it's a different chapter. So like you said, it's a beautiful journey that we've taken since then.
Yeah, absolutely. And like you say, it's this kind of movie of life that unfolded because, you're a professional woman in a busy role. You're juggling a lot of things. You've got a lot going on outside of life. So you're sort of in marketing terms, like my ideal client, right? And I think because you know me so well, and because we have the depth of intimacy of our relationship, I was able to articulate to you what I was trying to achieve with the Stress Reset well enough, for you to be like, yes, I get it, let's go. And then, as you will probably remember through that journey, I sort of had a lot of the realizations that you literally just said it yourself. I had resistance, but I realized it's what I needed. And the problem is that most women in your position often are stuck in the resistance part and not yet ready to leap into kind of what they need, which is where Efficiency Made Easy came in. But would you be able to like speak to that resistance and just like some of the thoughts that were running through your head at that time, like back when you had so much going on? It was like, oh, I guess I could do something for myself. But
I think I'm trying to remember kind of like where the resistance came from. And I think for me, resistance always comes when I'm afraid of uncovering something. And like I was afraid of going deeper, uncovering maybe also the reasons why I was feeling overwhelmed and stressed and all of that. And it's kind of like afraid of the truth that might come
Mm-hmm.
out.
Mm-hmm.
And I think kind of like you gave such a welcoming environment that everyone was allowed to be just as they wanted to be, or like could be, or show up as they wanted. So I think that really allowed me from the even before I said yes, like already like through all of your like communications and the conversations we had, to really feel like I'm okay. You know, it's like it's
Mm-hmm.
gonna be fine. And I don't also, and it wasn't with the pressure of I need to change completely. Even the
Yeah.
smallest change already had some sort of effect. And that's what
Mm-hmm.
I could really see. Like it wasn't a 180-degree shift, but it was like little drops and realizations that come day by day. And I
Yes.
think that really allowed me to be less resistant.
Yes, thank you for naming that. And also thank you for naming sort of, that change process. It's like there's this fallacy, especially in the personal development world, of like overnight success, except that, yeah, it only takes, however long it takes, however many years to become that overnight success, the stuff that happens behind the scenes that not a lot of people see. And you also spoke to the piece around fear of uncovering the truth. And man, like, I think this is why you were able to jump in so early as you did, because you already have such a deep level of self-awareness of like, okay, there's something here that I'm not ready to see yet, that I know this container will open up for me. And you did, and you went through a lot in your life. I mean, everyone in that container went through a lot in their life, whether it was personal, whether it was breaking a leg, there was so much going on. And so once we navigated through that container and then kind of birthed Efficiency Made Easy,
It
I
really was
am,
a birth
it
process.
was a birth. It's like on it, like, to be honest, this whole journey that you're like describing as a movie feels like I'm in labor. This is like my baby, and it's messy and it's painful. And sometimes I feel like I can't do it anymore, but I just keep on knowing that something beautiful is emerging. It's literally how it feels sometimes. Um, Oh goodness. And so through that birth, you're like the fairy godmother. Yeah.
I love that.
Yeah, but actually how it feels really, because you know, you had the perfect journey, and you were perfectly ripe at the perfect time as I began to see, okay, Efficiency Made Easy is where we're going, because these busy women, yes, they're stressed, they're overwhelmed, they've got too much going on. And what I'm offering is great, but they've got a much bigger elephant in the room, which is, shit, I'm so busy, I've got way too much to do. How do I even get through the day? And so as a founding member of the Stress Reset, you obviously had like automatic access to Efficiency Made Easy. That's what happens when you join us early. You get VIP privileges, sorry, not sorry.
Love being
And
a VIP.
I know, right? First class for life. So around that time, when you already knew Efficiency Made Easy was coming, you were going to be part of it, it kind of coincided with a lot of your work structures, kind of busyness, etc. Can you tell me a little bit about like what life was like before we began Efficiency Made Easy, and even before we spoke to some of the little organization hacks that I taught you in the Stress Reset? Because I know there were a few that already came through at that time.
I think the stress reset was kind of like the journey into the awareness, kind of like realizing that I was actually like, I never felt like I was doing enough. I think that's also why I always went to sleep after 12, kind of
Mm-hmm.
like because I felt like I needed to be hyper productive, doing whatever, right? Like cleaning my room, doing the dishes,
Mm-hmm.
like all the different tasks that let me, like, that never felt I was able to rest. I think that was one. Then kind of like just at work specifically, planning from just day to day, or even from the hour to the hour, just shifting this whole laundry list of items from one day to another, never feeling that I was actually getting something done.
Mm-hmm.
um that always then or I realized that that kind of like led me to feel super anxious because I never felt
Mm-hmm.
like I had things under control or
Mm-hmm.
was able to actually work through my to-do list. Um, then I was overcommitting to everything because I felt like I need to do even more. I need to say yes to so many things, and
Mm-hmm.
it didn't really have a plan really. Like for example, even on the weekends, like I love being around my friends. I love socializing. I love
Mm-hmm.
kind of being part of a community and all of that. But I was just saying yes to everything without planning in time for myself as well. So I was like
Yeah.
overcommitting, and um, and I was never really actively looking past maybe the upcoming 2 or 3 months. Like I was always
Mm-hmm.
like in the moment, which
Mm-hmm.
is beautiful to be in, but then you just live from day to day without really having that big picture
Yeah.
or year vision, right?
Yeah, exactly. And I would argue that you probably, because you're already very organized and planned, that even looking 2 to 3 months, which you were already doing, is more than most people do. And that's like you say, like a lot of people only operate on this like week out, day, whatever, just get through the day survival mode. And like, my goodness, you articulated this so incredibly well because you can really see the whole loop, right? Of this overcommitment because you don't want to say no, you don't want to disappoint people, which makes so much sense. If we look at the overcommitment, the staying up late, the constantly doing things, and like the overflowing laundry list of items that just keep being moved from one thing to another, like when we dig deep beneath the surface, you said it all the way at the beginning, you said it just never felt enough. And of course,
Hmm.
if that is the programming that's running the operator, like we use the operating system metaphor in Efficiency Made Easy, then that's what the end result is going to look like. And what were like some of the first shifts before we even began Efficiency Made Easy? Because I love this. Like, this is the power of some of these small changes that already began to change your work dynamics for you, as an example. Because I vividly remember you had this one really great intention and action point after we finished the stress reset. So can you tell me a little bit more about that?
Yes, super happy to tell you. Maybe one example that also just came into
Mm-hmm.
my mind that maybe visualizes what I've said before is I vividly remember every time I have like this private notes list on my phone, or kind of
Mm.
like action items on my phone, and then I put everything that comes up during the day for my private life, I put on there so I don't forget. Every time this list was empty, I was finding random tasks to put on there just so it's not empty. And I would never allow
Wow.
myself this list to be empty.
Oh my God.
I just wanted to give you
Wow.
this example because
Thank you. That is
it was great.
massive.
Yeah,
You never even
yeah.
told me about that. And like, can you give me an example of some of like the random tasks that you would find to put on there just so that it wouldn't be empty?
It would be even things that, for example, bring down the trash. Like it's usually something that happened during my day, but I would put that, it's ridiculous. I would put that on my list so that it seems like I'm doing something, you know?
Yeah. Yeah. My God. I'm giggling because I can relate so bad. There's this for achievers, for people who are used to being like constantly switched on and on overdrive. I don't think we talk about this often enough, but like emptiness and spaciousness feels scary. It's like,
So
what?
scary.
What is this? Get it away from me. And like, having been through the stress reset, you also obviously know that to our nervous system, anything that's unfamiliar is a threat. So obviously you're going to immediately default to familiar, which is, well, there's always more to do, which like, I hate to break it to you, there's always going to be more to do, but how you get to manage that is completely different. So, yeah, thank you for bringing in that example. Wow, that has painted a very clear picture in my head.
So now coming back to the
Mhm.
work to-do list.
Yeah.
So yeah, I've mentioned it was this laundry list of things that I also had scattered on throughout different places. Like one was I had it like on my emails, then I had it on some
Hmm.
document. Like it was super scattered around. I used my calendar, but I never really had this one-stop shop for my to-do list. So I
Hmm.
think that was the first step of creating this one-stop shop to gather all these items. It was still a laundry list, but that's okay.
Hmm.
And then from there, I kind of like split it into, okay, what's the week that we're currently in? What are the days?
Hmm.
Where are days where I actually have like focus time. So I kind of created this very initial system within this document. And then I told myself, thanks with your help, actually, I was like, what's the smallest thing? Or you asked me, what's the smallest thing that you can do on the day to make it more easy? And then since then, actually, it's been, I think, probably 2 months. No, yeah, 2 months maybe. I always, before I start work, I grab my coffee and then I sit down, I open my document, and I'm like, what are the 3 most important things that I need to get done today? I make them bold. And then I work through those, and then everything else is just like a bonus. And then I'm like, if I get these 3 things done, it's a good day. And then I can rest.
Yes. And like, tell me, how different do you feel at the end of the work week now that that is how you approach your work versus what you were doing before?
Like, I just feel I'm not just like, and this relates to so many different things, but that I'm just like not on autopilot and just like a guest in this whole system, but like I actually can control what needs to get done.
Yes.
And then also be able to rest, because now I know, okay, these 3 things that I had on my list for that day or for that week, I've got through. So it really felt like a relief that was like showered over me, and that overwhelm was gone. Of course, there are days where it doesn't really work in that way, right? Like there's more to do's coming. Like it's not this perfect
it's an
world.
Ever evolving process. Yeah.
But it really feels like, I'm proud by the end of the week that I'm like, I was able to do this.
Yes, it's like, look at everything I've achieved, right? And it is so cool, because for an achiever archetype, and I know like you fall under a lot of different archetypes depending on the season of life that you're in, but achiever being one of them, having that sense of satisfaction is something we chase so much, yet it is something that we rarely ever give ourselves permission to feel. And so setting yourself up for success from the beginning, rather than like, looking at this laundry list of things that like it's literally physically impossible to complete in a month, let alone in a day, it is a whole paradigm shift. And you were such a great early adopter of that as well, which like I love for you so much. It's been so cool to see you just like have a massive transition just from that one thing. And that was before we even really got into Efficiency Made Easy. So that came out of, one of the modules in my old program. So now like pivoting into Efficiency Made Easy. Oh, juicy. Tell me about some of the most like breakthrough aha moments for you as we went through our time together.
Where do I start? There are so many.
Go for it. The floor is yours, my dear.
So I think from the stress reset, I was able, as I've mentioned before, kind of like to get to this awareness layer of like, okay, I notice when I'm stressed. I notice when I'm overwhelmed. I noticed way more emotions that I was feeling. So that was kind of like a beautiful starting point. And then you brought us into the first module, which I must say I was very scared, or I had like a lot of respect from. It was like, I think you called it like the big vision life, or the big vision.
I think it was big ass goal alignment.
Big ass goal, exactly. I was like, I've never thought about this. How should I do this? I don't have a final destination. I was like, do you really want to start with this module?
You're like, I'm not ready for this. I don't have all the answers. And thank you for naming that, because a lot of people who are potentially circling my world as they're listening to this might be feeling the same way. So yes, thank you. That is totally normal. It's like, I got to have everything sorted and perfect first. I'm not ready to have this conversation.
And I've said before that I never really planned my life, right? I never really planned more than a couple of months, even along that. So I was like, okay, buckle up, I'm ready. And then you guided us so well through kind of just like starting with, okay, what are the key focus areas you want to focus on? Kind of like, and then really opening up that little box that I had so close inside of me of like, allow yourself to dream. Like, it's okay. Just like, it doesn't have to be your dream that you will actually follow through with. It can be one of so many dreams. And I was like, is this even real? So I think that was one of the biggest breakthroughs, especially in the beginning, which I still have like thoughts coming up from of like, I'm allowing myself to dream now just through that. And that was so beautiful of kind of having, yeah, those thoughts, like not just pushing away those thoughts immediately, but being like, oh, this could be a cool idea, or that could be nice. I could see myself there. And one thing that really helped me as a visual person also was your recommendation to actually build a vision board on Pinterest. So just like gathering all those different pictures and moods and energies on that vision board was so powerful. And sometimes I go back and I'm like, no, actually, I don't see myself there anymore. Actually, I don't see myself there anymore. So it's not the one thing that I'm dreaming towards, but it's just like thinking of the different possibilities life can bring.
That's it. That is it. And like, thank you for speaking that as well, because I think a lot of the resistance that often comes up to people when it comes to planning, and maybe they even hear you saying like, plan my life. It's like, well, you know, look at the state of the world, or I can't even predict what's going to happen tomorrow, let alone in a year from now. It's like, yeah, of course not. You know, none of us have a crystal ball unless you do. And that's pretty cool. Where can I find you? But the thing is, it's fluid. It evolves with you, right? Like your plan, from everything that you've just said, it's not static, but there's this proverb in Africa that is called pray and move your feet. And you've got to be able to know what you're praying and moving your feet towards, rather than just like, I don't know, moving in the wrong direction because you never even set one in the first place, right?
Exactly. And I think I really have this quote vividly in my head that you've said once. It's plan, but always leave a little bit of magic. And it's so true, because we don't want to over plan. Like that's also, I don't want to over plan my things. Like I don't want to just start my day and plan, right? I just want to also leave a little bit of magic, but with with the plan, magic with the plan.
Magic with a plan, magic planning. That's it. Like, and you know, it's sort of, it's a dance. It's this constant dance between structure and freedom, because they actually are one and the same. And the structure gives you the freedom. The plan gives you the flexibility. It's so hard for people who are used to this linear black and white way of thinking to see that that's possible. But it's really like one unlocks the other. And it also helps you align with, you know, some of the things you mentioned earlier, like what's actually important to you, what do you want? Like, I'll share a personal example literally from today. My partner and I were talking yesterday, and like, I'm at the time of the recording of this episode in like a really busy season. You know, I'm preparing for my upcoming masterclass. By the way, if you're listening to this episode, I've got a few more coming this week, so make sure you come. And it's just, there's a lot. I'm in a season of expansion. And bless my partner, yesterday, he's like, hey, we're going to Big Save tomorrow, which is like this furniture store. And I was like, what? Why? Like, no. Oh, they have a 50% sale and we can get a new couch. And I was like, have fun. This is not a priority for me. I am at maximum capacity. And then like, I had my little mental breakdown, because obviously as an achiever, there's this whole thing about saying no and putting in boundaries. You know, it's like, I was like, oh, I'm not doing this. What do I do? But then I explained to him as well. So like, going back to the plan fluidity and alignment, I was like, look, if you had said, hey, let's go out for lunch or a walk or like some quality family time, yes, I would have said yes, because that aligns with my values. Like, you guys are always a priority for me. I will make that work. But taking 3 hours of my day to walk around shopping for couches we don't need, that we're not going to buy anyway, ain't happening right now. So I just wanted to kind of share that little real life example in real time. Like, it's still, even for me as the expert going through this stuff, it's like the plan helps you come back to what really matters and make informed decisions in the moment, which is what you've described as well.
Yeah, 100%. And I think that ties in exactly what I was like, another breakthrough. That was my first one. My second one was actually the whole part around what you said, like around values of like, I was never before your program, I was never really able to name my top 3 values and actually with confidence kind of be like, yes, these are my values. And then
Mm-hmm.
kind of around that, thinking, okay, what are like the three pillars I want to expand on, like in the
Mm-hmm.
next few months. And that was so beautiful, because now every time I take a decision, or I'm like, yes, I want to fly to back to Germany to spend time with my friends, because like community is one of my values, and like it
Mm-hmm.
might be exhausting, but I know why I'm doing this. I think it's the why I'm doing it that really creates
Mm.
it's like a warm shower, you know, it creates like this, oh.
Yes. Oh, I had one just before our episode. So yes, it's still very much in my muscle memory. It just feels so
Yes.
yummy. And like, oh, I can hear someone's thoughts right now being like, oh, whatever values, so cliche. And like, I will agree that like the word values and the idea
Yeah,
of values is so overused in like organizational culture workshops and personal development space, etc. But I think the problem is that we never go beyond the cliche. Like we never actually realize that your values are your compass, which is then the thing that guides every single decision and helps you make the trade-off as well, which is just like so amazing to see that now you're like, yeah, you know what, I love spending time with these people and this is a priority for me, so I'm gonna make it work, because this is what efficiency made easy is about. It's, yes, like you know, you become more productive and all the things, but it's actually about getting more time back to do what you
I
love.
agree. Yeah, like
Mm.
just trimming it down to the core, and
Mm-hmm.
then reassessing from there, like
Mm-hmm.
what do I keep, what do I put away, what do I don't need right now, and then you kind
Mm-hmm.
of create this, yeah, like this aligned dance in your
Yes,
life.
this is a line dance. I love it. I love it. And it's a dance between your internal world and like the 3D reality, right? And so would you be able to tell me a little bit more about how you now navigate this dance between like what's in you, you know, the dreams, the hopes, the wishes, the desires, with still the tangible 3D demands that come, you know, like you mentioned earlier, the to-dos come and the deadlines and the boss and all the things that are outside of our control. Like, how do you manage the dance between the two?
Good question. I think I'm like, it's still such a process to kind of, I
Mm-hmm.
think there's never an end to it. And that's also something I needed to realize. Like, you're never done. It's kind of like a dance also doesn't stop, right? It just like continues, or like waves flow and they just come and go. So I think one thing is definitely knowing myself better. And I remember one of the key focus areas from the beginning, because I went back and kind of looked at them again when we 8, 9 weeks ago. And one thing was like big picture vision and like the future for my life. And it's just knowing that key focus area is something that, or having unlocked that, allows me to go through the world and kind of like, and through my day to day, and being like, I like this, I like that, and just
Mm-hmm.
becoming more myself through that.
Mm-hmm.
And how does it help me in my day to day or in my corporate role? Is kind of, I love what I do at work, and it's amazing, and I learn so much. But at the same time, I know that there is time outside work that I can
Mm-hmm.
actually use to go towards
Yeah.
that idea or dream that I currently have, of maybe having a retreat one day, or doing yoga sessions more regularly. And if I stay at the example of the retreat, which was like the first thing that came up when you've asked me about what's like my goal, and it was
Mm-hmm.
like, it was very warming from the inside, but also it was going back to resistance. It was like, no, you're not allowed to dream about this, like, and
Mm-hmm.
it was a weird mix of emotions. But for
Mm-hmm.
example, now with all kind of like the systems you're teaching us and the different planning rituals, it's like, okay, now that we get into this planning, it's like, okay, the retreat is like a big life goal, but maybe I want to start giving regular yoga classes, or doing
Mm-hmm.
another teacher training, or doing that. So that's something I can plan outside of my corporate job to kind of do something that I personally love doing and that also fulfills
Yes.
me.
Yes, and it's another opportunity for you to shine your light brightly out into the world, right? And like, I am so thrilled that you revealed the big dream. Like, I purposely tiptoed around it because I knew that, like you spoke to the resistance, right? And like, let's
Hmm.
be real, the resistance is still there because this dream is still very fresh and tender and in its infancy of emerging. So I wanted to respect that, which is why I didn't kind of want to, pull it out of you, but it came organically, which is beautiful. And so now that we've got this example here to speak to, I just wanted to really name that, like, having a retreat in whatever way that may manifest in the future was like this deep seated desire that was sitting in you. And tell me what you used to tell yourself before you actually gave yourself permission to dream. What was that process like for you in your head?
It was so much like, if it always felt like this big wall that I was like
Mm-hmm,
thinking towards, but it never really
mm-hmm,
opened. And it was like, no, you would never be able to do such things. Like, why? Like, why are you even thinking about these
mm-hmm,
things? Like, are you actually going to get money out of this? Like, all of
mm-hmm,
these insecurities, or kind of like maybe it's or beliefs that
mm-hmm,
get me to these insecurities, were coming up every time I thought about this. And they still do sometimes.
mm-hmm,
But now I have, like, if we keep at the visual of the wall, there's like more and more bricks coming
mm-hmm.
out of the wall that actually let me see clearer towards that goal.
Yes.
So that's
Yeah.
beautiful.
And
Yeah.
every time one brick falls away, you get clearer and clearer on what that actually looks like. Like the example that you just shared with your vision board, right? Like as you're playing with that, it's sort of the more you return to it, the more you're like, oh, actually, it's not that, it's maybe this. And who knows, like, we just follow the little pebbles of like you said, the little drops. We just follow the drops. It's the same thing like 3 years ago when I was just getting started and I did my first health coach training program. Do you think I knew that I was going to be teaching people what I've like been doing for decades? No. I had no idea. That wasn't on my vision board. But here was my calendar staring at me straight this whole time, like, hello, this.
Bring it to the world.
Exactly. But it's a process and we've all got to get through that process. And so now you're kind of in those really juicy, fun, scary, and expansive early stages of exploring it. And you just named the magic of planning and sort of the systems that I teach so strongly, because once you get clear on the big picture, once you get clear on the vision for your life and all the little milestones, we do the whole plan your dream life process. Like there's a lot that comes up. You then bring it in to the tangible, regular planning rituals. Like you say, it's like, sure, some people might be wanting to overhaul their life overnight. That's not most people. So you might
Yeah.
not do this retreat tomorrow, but it's like, okay, but like this year, what is the next right step? Is it the more yoga classes? Is it another teacher training? Is it attending this workshop about how to facilitate retreats? Is sort of the baby steps that bring you to your end goal, which you're just starting, which is so exciting.
It's very exciting. And then from there also, like, other ideas might come up, or on that
Mm-hmm,
journey you might find out like, oh, I actually like this, or I actually like that, or I actually just love to be surrounded by like people who also like-minded people who also love doing that. So it's,
mm-hmm,
yeah, it kind of gives more, it's more like when I wake up, for example, like it's more this expansive manner of waking up, instead of just I'm waking up for my day to day, which I love, but
mm-hmm,
like there's actually more to it. There's
mm-hmm.
something more to it as well.
Yeah, I think you were just about to say it. There's more to life than this.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. And oh, it makes me so emotional to see you have these, ahas and breakthroughs and realizations, because I remember myself in a very similar time, it was a few years ago now, many years ago now, but I remember sitting in my corporate job, which I still have part-time, which I'm very grateful for. And it was around the time when I was having a lot of the realizations that you're kind of having at the moment. And I turned to one of my colleagues who was still like very much in his 3D normal, muggle world of just stare at the screen for 20 hours a day and don't do anything else with your life. And I looked at him and I said, I just realized we don't have to be miserable all the time. I think there's actually more to life than this. Like, what? Wait, my life doesn't have to be dictated by to-do lists and someone else's deadlines. And I actually get to live my life the way I want to, rather than chasing the dream that I thought was my dream, but was actually unconsciously just trying to please my parents by climbing the corporate ladder. Like, I'm speaking about myself right now. And that was massive. And so,
Wow.
again, at the fear of sounding too cliche, you said earlier, you're never done. And I think there's like two things we could say to that. A, is most people never define what done looks like, which is a tangible 3D world. And let's put that to the side for a moment, because we can teach on that in Efficiency Made Easy. But when it comes to the big 5D, why are you here on this planet? Yeah, you're never done, because you've already arrived. Simply by existing, simply by being here, by having this conversation right now, you are already exactly where you need to be. Anyone listening to this conversation right now, this is it. There's nowhere to get to. The more you can enjoy the journey of right now, understanding that through that journey of self-exploration, going to that big picture, you're going to encounter amazing people. You're going to have these amazing conversations like the one we're having right now. Man, this is it. You're
That's
here.
it.
You've arrived. You can rest.
It's so beautiful.
Yeah, this is. I feel like that just like kind of came through. I'm just gonna let that land for a moment, because I'm like, whew. Oh my goodness. This is it. I've said this many times in both of my programs. There is no there. Whatever arbitrary goal or area, or when I have the retreat, when I make the $1 million, when I do this, it's no different to right now. Because all we're doing is chasing something that we can only get in here, inside.
I totally agree, and that's why I found the first part of the program, specifically for me, so incredibly powerful, because exactly what you've just mentioned, and going back to kind of like the values, understanding who I am, really allowed me to also gain kind of like that confidence in the day-to-day of being like, I'm enough of like what I am. I don't need to run anywhere. Like, this is my life right now, and I have all the amazing things I can do with that part. And also realizing, and that was such a powerful realization, of all the things that I've been doing so far already, and the people I've gathered in my life, and the things I've been doing, they are already me, and I can be proud of that already. And then there's like little tweaks and things that you can do to kind of like be even more expansive and to feel even more fulfilled, but there's already so much there that you don't need to change completely. And having a corporate role, it's amazing to have, right? Like, there's nothing wrong about that. But then there is, you can just expand. I think expand is the right word from there.
Yes,
you don't need to be small and just like stuck there, but you can actually shine from there.
Yes, take up space, be loud, rise to your fullest freaking potential, because especially as women who are people pleasers, who don't want to make a fuss from the very young age, whether we've been told, through society or our parents or just internally, to stay small, don't be bossy, don't be too loud, good girls are seen, not heard. Ugh, no. There's so much greatness in you. Scream it from the rooftops. Allow yourself to expand. And like you say, like, whatever your circumstances, whether you're in corporate, whether you're an entrepreneur, both a student, whatever, like we got to trust that we were placed in that time and place for a reason. You know, I mean, you've told me about the ripple effects that you've had of some of the people at your job. I keep having people in my life always come up to me and be like, I think of what would Vic do? And I'm like, cool. Like that is so humbling, you know, and it's really just a filter of understanding you belong everywhere and you get to be big and expand to your limitless potentiality. Yeah.
Efficiency made easy.
Efficiency made easy.
There's so much more to efficiency made easy than just efficiency. Like and just productivity is just like knowing yourself from the core and then allowing yourself to rise from that using the tools that you teach. But it's not just the perfect to-do list that you teach. It's just like, who am I? Where do I where do I see myself? Things like that. And then it just comes from there. So
yes. Yeah. Thank you for saying that, because, you know, it's sort of, I see it almost, and now, you know, you're a VIP founding member, you know, you're the very first to go through the program. By the way, I'm so excited because I'm like, I'm going to improve it and do all the things. So this next round is going to be better. It's just going to keep getting better and better from here. Because hello, I'm an achiever and I want to serve my people the best way I can. And I'm really starting to see clearly how it's sort of like the first part of the program, like really the first half is kind of like a rude awakening. It's kind of like shaking you up a little bit and be like, all right, boom, boom, wake up. What are you doing with your life? Let's have a look at what got you where you are and where you want to go. And like you said, like through that process, you realize a lot of the things that you already have in your life that you're like, oh my God, amazing. And this process is also a really ruthless filter for anything that's not working. And that's not to say, again, you don't need to overhaul your life. You don't need to change everything. Like, no. But it's going to prompt you to make some decisions in your life. And, you know, like you've had to go through that own process yourself, as, you know, everyone else has in their own way. And then the second half is like, okay, now that we have tidied up all the mess underneath the carpet, we can build on top and we get into the tangible, the 3D, the tools and systems. And like the cool thing is that even that part, like you can't find in any productivity book. So would you be able to like describe in your own words what efficiency made easy is like for someone who's never heard of it before or kind of still doesn't quite get it? Just like in your experience, what was it like?
Okay, so I think for me, like efficiency made easy is just, as I said, so much more than just becoming more efficient or more productive. I think it's kind of like building a life that just feels, that actually feels aligned with who you are and what else you want to do with your life, by kind of like taking off that layers and really getting to that core. So I think what you did really well is kind of like combining that super deep self-reflection and like all the different parts. Like one example is the annual review process that one of the things you've taught, without spoiling. But so I think I've used to do that in the past, like some years here and there. And it's so interesting to see that I've done it. And then I was like, I've put all this work and now so what? Like, what do I actually do with this information or with the reflections that I had? Now I actually know, okay, I can connect these to my learnings, and then I can like put these into the different like plannings and tools, you know, and like it actually has a reason that I did this, and it fits into that entire thing. So I think that's what you do. Like you combine self-reflection with like practical systems that really helped you to, I say, kind of like organize your life in a way. That's like it. That you like helps you to organize your life intentionally and to put all the energy and the time that you have into the things that really matter. And so it's like a whole thing from like defining your values to actually learning all the systems and the planning rituals, and just to kind of like, live every day in the most like, expansive way.
Yeah, just being the best version of yourself, you know. And I love that you spoke to the fact that, a lot of people, and one of our other founding members, I'm sure he won't mind me saying this, often said, like, look, I've done a lot of tracking and a lot of reviewing, but like, now what? And sort of, and that's where a lot of people, to be honest, not just people, a lot of organizations fail at this too, of like, okay, let's review the last year, or let's review this last launch. Great. Okay, but like, you got to implement the learnings, otherwise you're just going to keep repeating the same mistakes over and over again. And so these processes and these kind of literally step-by-step structured tools then allow you to have that ongoing red thread. It's almost this kind of, again, the cycle of iteration of, okay, in and out, in and out, in and out. And it's a way to organize your life in such a different way than anything out there, really.
With this clear intention. I feel it's kind of like it's all about the intention. And one thing I just realized, it's kind of, I think the last thing that I personally want for my life is kind of like that I feel as if I'm a guest in my own life. Like, I don't want to be a guest. I don't want to be an autopilot. I want to be the driver of my own life. I want to decide whether I continue going straight because it's amazing, I turn right, I go left, or I just stop for a moment and I review the road I've taken so far. But I'm in kind of like, control is such a harsh word, but I'm kind of like, I'm driving.
You're driving. And yeah. I actually wrote this down earlier because you brought this idea up a little while ago around being that guest in your life. And I wrote down versus control. And as you say, control is such a harsh word. So I'm going to, let my unconscious do the work on that one and help me find a new one that'll drop in meditation probably at some point. But it really, it's like this sort of dichotomy between being reactive to life and like almost a victim, if I say that, to being the architect of your life, being the designer of your dreams. And for someone who might have this thought in their head right now of like, but how could I ever know the magic that the universe has in store for me? A lot of people are like, well, my dreams are so small compared to what's actually really possible in the quantum limitless field. Like, yes. And that's where, like, as Eva said, plan and leave a little bit of room for magic. Like, let the universe surprise you with the wildest synchronicities, but like, don't just opt out just because it could be great. Because our meditation and manifestation teacher, Emily Fletcher, says this beautiful sentence, which is, the universe needs us to get clear on the what and the why. And then we got to let go of the how and the when a little bit.
It's so true.
Super quick note. I just opened doors to my group coaching program called Efficiency Made Easy. It is the proven planning system that will 10x your results, boost your energy, and give you your precious time back. Here's the catch. Spots are limited for this round and doors close in just a few short days. So if you want to make sure that you don't miss out, head to the link in the show notes below or to victorialevenberg.com. I would love to see you in the virtual Zoom room. And that's kind of like Efficiency Made Easy. Now that I say it, it's like it covers all 4 bases, and it lives by this principle where the when and the how flexes with every week, every month, every season, every year. Yeah.
Huh. And I have this like, to what you just said, I have a beautiful example. This was actually before, like, this was exactly 1 year ago when I still didn't know where I will go and what job I will take. And what I do for my birthday is always I write myself a letter for my next birthday. So like a happy birthday letter for my next birthday.
I love it.
So that's what I've done 2 years ago now for my birthday last year. And I wrote in that letter, I was like, I know you're going to have a new job by the time you read this letter. So this was kind of like the why and the what that you've mentioned. Like, and I wrote like, okay, these are the reasons or the things that I want to learn and all of that. And then the next time I opened this letter, actually 2 days before that, I actually received an offer for the job I'm in now. I think that's like, it really shows beautifully of what you just said, because I didn't know how, I didn't know when this is going to happen, but It actually
Mm-hmm.
showed up. And
Yeah.
that was also one of the first times where I remember vividly telling my brother, my dream would be to work at this company. And this was like, and I was like shocked when I said this. I was like, are you sure? And
Mm-hmm.
then it had this effect. And same when you asked me, like, what is your dream for your life right now?
Mm-hmm.
I was like, did you just say this? Are you okay?
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
yeah, that's
Exactly.
an
Exactly. And
example.
like obviously without naming any names, but like you literally work for one of the most valued companies in the world. Like it doesn't get better than that. It is and you know, every company's got its own stuff, but like it is, you are living the dream. You are living the dream, and we also need to be mindful of the fact that you are living a dream that a past version of you created. So this is the game, and this is where I think what Efficiency Made Easy really unlocks for us, is that it keeps us current and honest and true to ourselves rather than always creating from the past. Because if we only create from the past, we will be limited by what we know is possible and by the old version of us, rather than looking forward into, well, what does the future me need me to do and who does she need me to become, which is what your future version is calling you into right now. And I'm so excited, and I just see so much greatness. You know, retreats are like in my vision board as well, and we've been in each other's lives for decades, so I kind of
Who
see a
knows?
little bit of
Stay tuned.
connection there. Stay tuned,
And
everybody.
that's also where you need, I think, people who take off the blindness from your eyes sometimes and
Mm-hmm.
show you the way and kind of give you ideas. And I think that was so
Mm.
beautiful also about the Efficiency Made Easy community of like,
Mm.
actually people I've never met before in my life, just like coming together, working on their most vulnerable self and coming with ideas, coming with questions, coming with realizations. And actually, I feel so connected to everyone in there. And for me, this Tuesday, talking about routines and how I've kind of
Mm-hmm.
started to integrate more routines, like this Tuesday night for me, every time we had the session was like, I'm so excited for next Tuesday. No one could understand, but I was like, yes, it's beautiful. And then reading through all the posts in the Facebook group, it really
Mm.
felt like this family guiding you on your way and learning
Yeah.
from each other.
Yes. 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 Thank you for saying that, because I think I don't speak to the community aspect enough, but actually the
Mm-hmm.
community is what makes it. It's really, it's the magic is in the shares, in the engagements, in you know, for example, like you and one of our other founding members, Jillian, are both very visual processors, so there's been so much cross pollination between the two of you of like how to use that strength to your advantage when it comes to
100%.
this program. And it's like a rising tide that lifts all ships, and like you said, it's kind of like a family that you didn't even know you had, because these people get you. They're on the same vibe. They go through the same struggles as you, being high achieving people who still feel like they didn't do enough and like, okay, damn it, I fell back into my old patterns. Let's get back on the horse. Let's realign with my values. Let's realign with my priorities. And we speak the same language. And you know, you're obviously in the productive planning posse now as well, which is like my back end membership. I'm so excited. That's like where we implement everything that we've taught. So this is where the rubber really hits the road. And so to kind of bring this together to a close, I'm so grateful to you, Eva, because like you are such a light, and you're capable of so much. Like the impact that you're going to have on the world is monumental, and I don't know whether you can see that for yourself yet, but I see it in you, and I can see that future, and you're actively building towards it. And so, like, as a couple of parting final words, to someone who's listening here, who's potentially on the fence to joining or not joining Efficiency Made Easy this week, what's the one thing that you would love to leave them with that resonates with them long after the episode ends, no matter what they decide to do? But like, what's the one thing you wish that they know for the rest of their life?
You've spoken to this before, but it's all already within you. Like everything
Mm.
that is that you're about to create, that you're about to change, that you're about to keep, that you're about to learn, that you're about to bring into the world, it's all already within you. And I think it's so beautiful to kind of like regain that self-trust, knowing that you are who you are, and you can create the most beautiful things in this world.
Yeah. And that's it. Like if that's the truth that everyone lived into and created from, the planet that we will live on and co-create together is literally heaven on earth. So thank you so much for coming on, for sharing your story, for being so honest and raw and vulnerable, and like sharing some of the behind the scenes of the things that people like us, high achieving women, you know, people have with a lot going on, tend to kind of hide behind closed doors. Like, I'm just so grateful that you came on and helped someone see themselves in you. And if they wanted to reach out and maybe chat to you, like be like, okay, maybe they don't know me, you know, but like, here's someone who's known me for decades. Would you be open to them connecting with you?
Of course, of
Yeah.
course. Yes, 100%. More than happy to speak to anyone who wants to learn more or hear, yeah, to dive deeper into anything I've said. So,
Thank
but
you.
I must say, it's been, since joining Stress Reset, you've helped me through like so many different phases within my new phase in life. And it's been so powerful and so beautiful and so rewarding. So very, very special. Thank you.
Thank you. Well, you know, it's actually you that we need to thank, because you're the one doing, as we say in Te Reo Maori, the native language here in New Zealand, you're doing the mahi, the work. I'm just here as your guide, cheering you on and helping reorientate. But this is the thing, like with this work is, it's all about you. And it comes back to your parting words, which is everything is already within you. And I just help pull it out and and help you fine tune the goodness. Oh, thank you, Eva. You are an angel. And I mean, anyone who's going to join us this week is going to see Eva in the community and on our live calls, because they are still her rituals, which is amazing. Oh, thank you, thank you, thank you.
Thank you for having me on my first podcast. It's been so fun.
This episode was amazing. And by the way, just like as a little treat, if you do stick around to the end of this episode, you will get a little behind the scenes of just like Eva and I just stayed on and chatted for ages afterwards, because that's just what we do, because I love her so much. And some of the things that we were talking about without even intending for them to be on the podcast, I was like, oh, these are really great nuggets that we get to share with you as well. So it's like a little teaser of make sure you stick around. But before we do that, I just wanted to speak some of the key themes that came up that Eva brought up so well. And the first one is addressing the elephant in the room is, look, if you're still listening and you have been thinking about joining Efficiency Made Easy and you haven't yet, there's resistance there, 100%. Like, you wouldn't still be listening to this if there wasn't something pulling you in this direction. And it could be, you know, maybe that you think that you don't have the time and you're too busy. It could be that you think that you don't have the money right now. It's not in your budget. It could be that you think that maybe this won't work for you. It could actually be something much deeper, like, you know, fear, as Eva mentioned, or like, what if I can't do this? What if I don't follow through, etc. And whatever your resistance is, I just want you to acknowledge it. Like, just notice that it's there. And if it's arising, it is arising for a reason. I can't make this choice for you. Like, only you can make this choice. I can only do my best to show you what's possible for you on the other side of that decision. And if the resistance is really coming from that deep-seated place of fear and uncovering the truth of maybe, you know, the fact that you are living someone else's life, as I was, you know, I shared my story. I'll link it up in the show notes if you want to listen to that. Then know that there is no better place. There is no container where that process of unfolding and self-discovery can happen better and more cohesively, more warmly, more nurturingly than in this community. Like, Eva put it so well, and I love that she spoke to the incredible nature of our community as well, because this is, I guess, the space that my intention isn't, of course, yes, my intention is to give you all the secrets I have and help you live your best life, sure. But also it's to just help you come to a place where you feel seen and where you can take all the masks off and you can just be yourself, and you can explore and find out more about yourself and what you came here for and who you really are, and have conversations that you wouldn't necessarily be able to have with just like a random Joe blogs at lunch break. That's kind of the container that I facilitate. It's just in my nature. It's what I do. And so if that's been the resistance piece of like, oh my gosh, I don't know if I can do this, like, etc., just know, you've just heard from someone who's known me for over a decade. Like, have a chat to Ewa, get a feel for who I am as a person. I know it's weird out there in the internet these days. Like, you never know who's going to scam you or be some dodgy, weird person. Like, I feel you, because I have the same like resistance and fears about a lot of people who I encounter, especially if I'm just meeting them for the first time. So that's kind of my intention behind bringing these stories of my existing alumni and people who've known me out into the world as well. It's just that give a little bit more humanity, and just a reminder that even though I'm a little box on your screen or maybe just a little voice in your earbud, I'm still a person just like you. I still wake up every day, go to sleep every day, still brush my teeth every morning. I still deal with the same constant loop of thoughts that high achievers tend to default to, which I'm working on myself as well, of this doing enough and rest and all the things. So I just wanted to speak to that because, I don't know, I got a little intuitive hit that someone might need to hear it. And some of the other things that Ewa really mentioned that are quite important to speak to is that, efficiency made easy is not a life overhaul. I think a lot of people, and she spoke to this so well as well, especially when they like hear about the modules and some of the things that we dive into. And I'm like, we're going in deep right away, because like, think of it this way, like, you can't build a Burj Khalifa on top of a rocky foundation. And so this is where we've got to dig up all the old stuff and just see what's going on before I can actually give you the systems. It's like, it was funny when I was delivering the program for the first time. I was like a couple of weeks in, I was like, I know you guys are probably like, oh my God, when she'll just give me the freaking template. It's like, the template isn't the solution here. Let's dive into what's actually got you to the problem in the first place. Yes, the template will help, but we've got to get some of that underneath stuff fleshed out first. And so, to those of you who are like, oh my God, this feels like a lot. I don't think I'm ready. My life is chaos. I need to get all my ducks in a row. Just know that bring the messy. I love the messy. Bring all of you exactly as you are right here, right now is perfect. Because if you think that waiting for the perfect time is your reason why you shouldn't join right now, I'm going to let you in on a little painful secret. That perfect time's never going to come. The perfect time is now. And so the choice is yours. Like, you can go on and waste another week, month, year waiting until the perfect time, and which is never going to come, because all the other urgent things, seemingly urgent, by the way, not really important, but again, things we talk about in Efficiency Made Easy, are screaming at your attention. And the drift of life is trying to pull you left, right, and center. Or you could have already, like Ewa, gotten so crystal clear on your dream, on your vision for your life, on your priorities, started to put tools and systems and practices in place that make work, life, and business feel easy and spacious, and actually feel like it's okay to rest. Like, you're done, knowing when you're done at the end of the day. My God, there is nothing more satisfying than the quiet in your mind that occurs when you know that you have done everything you need to. No more of that humming, autopilot, nonstop chitter chatter that's constantly strategizing the next move. I know, because I've been there and I've seen the dynamic polarities, and sometimes I get pulled into my old ways, just as a little reminder to remember what you're going through right now. And just know that there is another way. There is a better way. There's so much more to life than this. And you don't need to be miserable all the time. Like, let me help you. You can stop running on autopilot and instead become the architect of the life of your wildest dreams. So look, if you are still listening, the choice is yours. Doors to Efficiency Made Easy are open this week. They close down Thursday this week. So if you are listening to this episode early on in the week, I am still running a few of my live masterclasses. Make sure you get registered. The link is just in the show notes below. If you don't even need the masterclass, like, okay, Efficiency Made Easy is for me. I've also included the link to the sales page just below this video, but don't wait too long because that's it. I'm closing doors Thursday this week. I've got to focus my attention on welcoming the incredible people who've already said yes to joining our community, who are going to go through as the only 20 new early access members into the second round. And I'm going to be so excited and grateful if you choose to be one of them, but I can't make that decision for you. Now, if you are listening to this episode after Thursday, which is obviously after I've closed doors, fear no more. You can get your name on the priority wait list for the next time I open so that you are first to hear. But if you're like really desperate and like, oh my God, Vic, I need this now, and it just so happened that you didn't come around to listening to this episode, send me a little DM. I'll see what I can do. Okay. Because like, I'm here to be of service. I'm here to make this as accessible and as available to as many people as I can. Speaking of which, just a little reminder, this is an early access members launch. So that means I'm only letting in 20 new people. And the reason behind that is simple. Like, I've done the program once. We're now doing it the second time, and I'm still ironing out a couple of kinks. Like, I, want to be of service. I want to make sure that it's still a curated group that can give their feedback in real time so that I can refine the little kinks and tweaks before I really make it massive and kind of share it with everyone and scream it from the rooftops. And in return for that, I'm slashing off like 3/4 of the investment. It is ridiculous. It is a no-brainer. So if one of your objections is around the investment piece, just know that this is the lowest investment this is ever going to be, and you get lifetime access. You get this for a fraction of the investment. And honestly, like, I've had some of my students put value of over $4,000 to $5,000 on this program. So, getting it for just 10% of that is quite the ROI. Okay, that is all from me. Thank you so much for listening to this episode. Enjoy the behind the scenes. I hope to see you in Efficiency Made Easy, or whatever you choose to decide. Just remember, you've already arrived. You're exactly where you need to be. And if some of that doesn't quite feel like a capital T truth yet, you know where to find me. Bye for now. I get asked by type A high performers, high achievers, and entrepreneurs how to get more done in less time all the time. And that is because I've been able to master productivity, efficiency, and planning myself. Honestly, in my personal and professional life, I'm known as the organization, systematization, efficiency queen, and I have made it my purpose to help others just like you do the same. Now, I just opened doors to my group coaching program called Efficiency Made Easy. It is the proven planning system that will 10x your results, boost your energy, and give you your precious time back. Here's the catch. Spots are limited and doors close on midnight Thursday. So if you have big goals and a full schedule and pushing, grinding, and working harder just isn't cutting it anymore, this is the space for you. Head to the link in the show notes just below this video or podcast episode, or to my website, victorialevenberg.com. I'm here to answer any and all questions that you've got. I would love to see you inside. Bye for now. Thank you so much for doing this. Oh my God. It means the world to me. I'm so grateful and I'm so proud of you.
Thank you for asking. I'm proud also. It was so fun. It was amazing. Like, I couldn't have experienced any, better first podcast.
Oh, thank you. And I'm also so proud of everything you've achieved in the last 6 months as well. You know, it's like
crazy when I think about it. But it's so cool, like how, like, every day I have something from one of your sessions that kind of like comes back into my head, whether it's like a question or a realization. So it's so beautiful. And I've listened to a podcast. It was like a random podcast, but she was mentioning such a beautiful quote, and I thought it was so fitting to Efficiency Made Easy. It was like, how you spend your days is how you spend your life.
That's it. Mm-hmm.
And I was like, it's so true, because like all the little things we do on our day-to-day, it's kind of like defines our life, and we cannot have the perfect life, but we can have perfect days that lead up to, perfect's hard, but like a good life, So I thought that was so fitting.
Yeah, exactly. It's just
What do
one,
you say?
it's all the little drops that compound, that shape who we are. And I think a lot of people are missing that part, but not when they join us. It's like I have to experience a little bit of what my ideal clients are going through to remember how hard they have it and how important this work is. So like,
Mm.
like the last few days, like I was working more. And again, I'm like, is this in alignment? Yes, like it meets all the filters, but it actually means there was a conscious trade-off, right? And I'm like, man, people live all of their lives this way. I'm like, I'm doing this for 2 days, like, so it's a reminder of why I do what I do. It's expansive. It is like mind blowing, but also really exciting because,
Wow.
like, I mean, I'm crazy. I'm doing 14 webinars, which is
This is
ridiculous.
crazy.
The thing is, like, for people who have a self-paced program, they can do a webinar every week, no problem, because you're just selling the portal.
True.
But because
Yeah.
we operate in cohorts, at least for now, like I don't want to wait 5 years to get my reps in. And so I was like, okay, I'm going to rip the Band-Aid off. And like
Hell
the
yes.
14 was a super random number. I just went through like, okay, I can start on this day and this is when I want to like close so we begin. And then I looked at like my calendar and all the different, again, planning,
Super.
because the part I didn't realize is that all of the automation and like the email sequences and all the stuff that needs to be done, because our system isn't that advanced, like we're still on the
Mm-hmm.
all-in-one system, it has to be done 14 times.
Oh,
So thank
wow.
God.
That is madness.
It's madness. But like I wouldn't be able to do this without structure and planning and like all the things that I teach. I'm like, I was literally reflecting last night. I was like, thank God I have this skill, because there's no way I would be able to deliver these 14 webinars if not. So that's my life at the moment.
But it's so exciting. Oh.
And like I took your guys' feedback on board and like a lot of my notes and shuffled a few things around, and I'm so excited because like I have the whole outline ready. And so it's like,
I saw
again,
it on I saw the video that you posted about like all the feedback and the ideas and how you've kind of like moved that around. It's so cool.
I'm so excited. It's gonna, and like there's so many future ideas, and like literally after I posted that, I like went back through and I was like, okay, highlight the main things I'm gonna do. And it's like, okay, I'm picking these 2, 3 things, and then I'm just
Mm-hmm.
gonna focus on refining the program for now, like one step at a time. So again, I'm practicing what I'm preaching here as well, So, but yeah, it's becoming this like really exciting thing.
It's so amazing also that like you have your coach guiding you through all of this as well, of like
Yeah.
reminding you of certain things, because and you really helped me realize that even if you're selbstständig, like you still have
Mm-hmm.
other people who show you, and maybe also like you hold yourself accountable, but
Mm-hmm.
someone that also guides you. So that's so cool to see, and like all the ideas that like also you get from that community to put
Oh,
into yours. It's so
yes.
cool.
Yes. And honestly, like to speak to like what you shared earlier about the community and the family, like that's like a family I never realized I had as well. Like I would
Mm.
not be able to do any of this if it wasn't for them. And like even the webinars, like the masterclass, he literally has a 100-page process step by step that tells you exactly what to do, etc., etc. It's like crazy. I'm like, I would be so lost without him. Like,
Wow.
so he it's like efficiency made easy. Like he has all the tangible 3D steps and stuff, but
Yeah.
then the
Yeah.
community piece is like the, you can do it. Okay, let's work this out. And he's like,
Yeah.
like, okay, what shit's getting in your way now? Okay, I'm doing it. This is,
Wow. You're gonna do so well.
thank
Oh,
you.
I can't believe, like, it's just like it really feels like it's like you've been preparing so much for like the rocket
Mm-hmm.
launch, And now it really feels like it's like
Mm-hmm. Yes, and that's the quantum leap. Like right there, what we spoke about last week. Like I'm listening to my business coaches. He's got this secret podcast. It's called the Quantum Leap Secret
Oh,
Podcast, which is like
cool.
perfect timing. And he was literally talking about it. I was listening last night and he was like, yeah, it's like, it takes some time, especially when you're like finding your niche to figure things out. But then as soon as you align with the purpose that you came to this world for, all of a sudden it's just like, boom. And I'm like, yeah, this is how I feel right now.
It really does feel like it, because remember when I sent you the message of like 1 year ago, you were telling me about all the ideas that you had, and kind of like all the ideas that are done, and then efficiency made easy, and then stress reset, and then suddenly you're like, it's like as if it's like the connector connected, and you're like, no, this is actually what it is. And then since then it's been crazy. It's like
Yes, it's just like I'm fueled by this life force. I like, my God, it is just so much fun. And this is where it comes back to what we were just speaking about on the podcast as well, which is like, I've already arrived. Like whatever the end outcome, can I have fun doing the things? And like, I was writing the emails and like creating the little process. And I was like, yeah, I'm a little bit tired because there's a lot going on right now, but I'm like, I'm having so much fun doing this. And like, isn't that the point?
oh, it's the best.
Yeah.
And then also kind of like, I think you've spoken to this once in a voice note of kind of like loving what you currently do, whatever it is, but being able to also detach from it, and that it's not like defining your life, but it's like you're able to detach from it more and creating something beautiful from that. And that's also what I feel in my and that's also what I feel in my job. It's kind of like I don't feel like I'm defined by it. And it's like that I'm able to detach from it a little bit more. Like, of course, there are other days where I'm like, okay, it completely consumed me, and then I'm just dead by the end of the day. But other days I'm just like, I love going there, but I'm also okay leaving again, and I can create other things. So it's kind of like this, you do the best while you're there, and then you leave, and then you can actually rest. So this morning, I was the first time I was actually like, I'm going to just chill on the couch and not do anything. It's so hard still.
Yeah, I know. I feel you. I feel like I'm the same. Again, we're wired very much the same way. And like acknowledging that it's hard is half the battle. Like I had the same thing, like usually my Saturdays are my days off, but anyway, long story short, is because I have all these freaking tech things to figure out, and I also need to make sure that my VA is briefed before the week begins. I was like, okay, I got to do all these things. And I had like 2 really big days. And then today I was planning to start working on the webinar, but I was like, no. I'm not resourced right now. Like I need to, today's focus is to rest. Like, yes, I'll get my VA's briefing in. That's like my number 1 priority. Everything else next week. And it's still hard because there is that voice in the back of my head being like, blah, 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 blah. Like, yeah, blah, blah, blah. I'm here.
Leave it. I forgot to speak about like energy cycles. If you want to do another podcast on energy cycles, happy to do it.
Oh my God, absolutely. We can do another one. Like I would, and we can time it for the next launch. Like,
because we haven't spoken about it at all. I think we can do
and that was huge for you.
Yeah, that was so big.
Yes.
But yeah.
I would be super honored, actually. That would be super cool.
It's also rewarding, right? To then see the results of actually what people listen to and who they are and stuff.
Yeah. Yeah. And like, I think I'm so grateful that I started this podcast because it's so natural for me to talk, and like I get to connect with people and have these conversations I might not usually get to have. But it's like, it is the epitome of a personal brand. Like these episodes, sure, like it's going to release on the X date, but like you never know who at what time will find it and the ripple effect that that's going to have on their life. And like now, almost after a year of doing this, so it takes time, but like now I'm finally starting to see like just like random people enter my world that I'm like, I have no idea where this person came from, but okay. So it's like, it takes time, but then it's, compounds. It's like investing. It's the nothing, and then
suddenly, and it's, I think it's also like the same with the followers as well, right? Like suddenly you reach a certain number, and then it just like you're in the algorithm and it just continues. But it's so hard to also to get
priorities, one step at a time.
Step by step.
Step by step. Yeah, step by step.
Can't wait to see the rocket launch. It's gonna be so big.
It's like it's on the precipice. It's happening.
You can be so proud. Like, I'm just like watching this and I'm just like, I'm so proud.
Thank you. Thank you. You know, and it's funny, like me too. And I will post a video about this soon as well. I recorded it just the other day. Like real life example from like last week was a huge expansion week. You know, it's like we closed Efficiency Made Easy. The first round was like such a milestone. Like, you know, I got you in the productive planning posse. We've got 3 out of the 5 people who decided to join. Like it's huge when you think about the percentages. And it was just like such an expansive week. And then, of course, what follows an expansion is the contraction. And so, like, I think it was maybe Saturday. I can't remember what day, but it was like on the weekend. I was just like having this little like mental breakdown of like, I didn't do enough. I still have so much to do. Oh, that's right. I was trying to set up some of the systems for the webinars, and it's like something I'd never done before. And I was trying to automate it, and like I couldn't figure it out. And like that was the straw that I attached so much meaning to. And I was like having my little cry and all my little negative self-talk. And I'd let myself sit in the shit for a day. And then I came back to my planning ritual on Sunday, which I always do. And I actually looked and I was like, okay, what did I say I was going to do this week? What were my 3 priorities? Complete Efficiency Made Easy, launch the productive planning posse, set up my webinar registration system. And I'm like, I did it. Like, I'm amazing. Boom. Like, you know, I obviously did my planning and like felt freaking fantastic. So it's none of us are immune to it, is I think what I'm trying to say. It's like myself included. It doesn't matter if you have your own business, if you're in corporate, or you're even a stay-at-home mom or a student. Your life needs to be managed like a Fortune 500 company, because it's your most precious resources. And so it will look different and the details will be different, but it's how you spend your life. It goes in cycles. It's like a business plan for your life.
100%. And maybe it's without kind of like, maybe that's also where wording is so powerful, instead of kind of like when you call it like first day at home mom, right? Or someone that does their corporate but just wants to be creative outside of work, but maybe they don't want it to be a Fortune 500 company. Like, I know where you're wanting to like get to, but then I think maybe it scares them off in a way of like, I don't want it to be that, but I want to have a fulfilled life that just like brings me joy and happiness. Maybe everyone else, maybe everyone like you did also with us, like creates their own definition of what a happy life looks like in the beginning, and then takes it from there.
Yeah.
And then the planning comes in.
Yeah. Which is exactly what we're kind of trying to do, right? So to answer your question around like the weekly planning, it's like, what do I put in? It's like, well, let's go back and look at your plan, your dream life plan. What's on there that's not already happening? That would be like, that's how I started before I built my business, because I like the plan your dream life process that I taught you guys. I've been doing that for like 6 years. And it was always like super full.
So cool to see like all your past dreams. It's so crazy.
I never had any idea. Like when I first built it, I had no idea that it would go anywhere beyond just like me, you know? It's so crazy. Man, like life works in mysterious ways.
Life.
and so like some of the things that were on there were like run a marathon, start a meditation practice, do a nutrition course. So there was like things on there that if they weren't on there, they wouldn't have become reality. So I would say always, go back to your dream and let that guide. Yeah.
I love it. I'm
so I love
excited
you so much.
Productivity, planning, posse, whatever. Yeah, it's called that.
Triple P, whatever.
Triple P.
I know, I'm like getting lost in my words now as well. I'm like, just whatever. That thing. Entrepreneurship is an inside job, you know? It's gonna
and you've never done a webinar. Of course, it's like it's weird. Like, but it's gonna be so. And you know how to speak to people. You know that's like you have such a skill to speak to people and to even through camera just like get them excited and get them hooked. Like I don't have I think I've listened to one of your podcasts today where you said like people nowadays have the attention span of a goldfish. I was like yes, and then you speak to me for 2 hours and I'm just hooked. You know.
Yeah. I love that. I love that so much. And like, that is huge. And that is also something I'm like, okay, I need to do things differently. I was like, okay, I can't do these like 2-3 hour calls anymore, unless it's coaching, but like, I don't want to be just talking at you for 2 hours, which is why I've decided to kind of change the way of the program, because I want it to be more about you guys than me. Because that's really the magic of the live container. It's like you bringing the questions, the stories, the experiences, and then using the core fundamentals to evoke that out. But I had to deliver it at least once to see how it lands and where are like the questions and the tension points, and also to see actually how much there is to deliver.
Like, I'm still impressed by all the content you have done. Like I go back to the folder with all of the downloads I have. I'm like, what the hell did she do? It's so amazing. It's so amazing. It's so powerful. Like, I still have to work. Like, yeah, like sometimes I have days where I'm like, okay, I go back to do this, and then I start to think about my system, and then I try out something in Notion, and I don't like it, and then I go back, and then I look at your document. Like, it's a journey, but it's like,
yeah. And that's what Triple P is there for. Yeah. Like, so that's the thing. Like, and this is what became really evident. Again, like my coach always says, clarity comes from action. And it's like the efficiency made easy, it gives you everything you need. But then, like, if you want help implementing, then that's where the planning posse comes in. And that's where I was like, I love this stuff. Obviously, I came up with it, and some of the things I learned, I went and implemented right away. But most people will have resistance and questions and all that stuff. And I'm like, this is where it gets juicy. I'm like, this is fun. Let's figure this out for you. You know, I'm like, let's go. Enough of me talking. You talk.
Because it would be so sad, like, to then just like leave whatever in the state we are in now, and to kind of like put it into a box that you maybe at some point will open again, but now you keep the box open and you just work from there.
The views and opinions expressed by guests on Resonance are their own and do not necessarily reflect the views of me, Viktoria Levenberg, Live in Health, or anyone working within the Live in Health brand. This space welcomes a diversity of ideas, experiences, and stories, and part of Resonance is learning to take what aligns and gently leaving the rest. Also, while I am a national board certified health and wellness coach and deeply passionate about well-being, this podcast is intended for educational and inspirational purposes only. Resonance does not substitute personalized medical, psychological, or therapeutic advice. Always seek guidance from qualified professionals for any physical, emotional, or mental health concerns.